Hello everyone. So we'll see vector today. So let's first discuss some basic things about the vector. So vector is nothing but a dynamic array. So vector elements are also placed contiguous in a contiguous storage similar to array. So if we take some array, like let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 67, 2. So let's say if this is the array, these will be placed in the contiguous memory location. Similarly, if you take a vector, uh, the memory allocation would be contiguous so that they can be accessed and traversed easily. Now, so if we are at first element, we can easily go to next element because we just have all the elements are stored contiguously. Also, random access is possible in vector. So random access is nothing but, okay, let me put it inside the comment, it will be better. Yeah. So random access is nothing but, let's say if you want the second element of the array. So I hope all of you already know this, like arrays and vectors all will have zero based indexing. So first element will be at index 0, second will be at index 1, so on, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you want the element at index 5, we can directly write array name and the element at that index. So sorry, index, if we give array name and the index, we'll get the element at that index easily. And this will be order of one operation. Like so that is why we say random access is possible. Now vector are same as dynamic array with the ability to resize itself. Yeah. So it has the ability to resize itself. So let's say now the vector size is so yeah, now the vector size is 4. Let's say it is holding 4 element. So what will happen? What will happen if I insert one more element? So it will automatically resize itself. It will allocate some amount of memory and resize itself. So we don't have to take care about that. Vector will be taking care. So these are the basic things about the vector. Now let's see how we can use vector in C++ program. So basically when we are using anything from STL, we can just include one header, that is bit/stdc++ .hash, and that will take care of about all the STL elements. Okay, so let's start how to declare a vector. So in vector, there are majorly two parts. You have to write vector and then you have to give the data type. So data type can be char, int, any data type of C++. So let's take int for now and then you have to give the vector name, some name. Okay, so v is the name I have given right now. Now how do you insert an element at this vector? Okay, so let's say if I want to insert this 1, 2, 3, 4 in the vector, what I'll have to do is v dot push back 1. So if I write this, what is going to happen is it is going to push one element at the end. So first it will push 1, then it will push 2, and then it is going to push 3, and then it is going to push 4. So now if I try to print it, it will print 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll push some more elements. Let's say 3, 21, 3, and 1. Let's push one negative element as well. Okay, yeah. So now our vector will look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 21, 3. Let's add here also 3, 21, 3, and minus 1 at last. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. up to 7th index, but we have 8 elements because this is zero based index. Now, how do we print this vector, right? So we'll take a function which will print vector. So vector p, let's pass a vector to this. So basically we'll just iterate as an array and you can easily print it. So size is the function which can give you the size of the vector, and you print it as a array only, like there is no difference on that. So I can write v of I similar to array. We'll give a line break over here. Yeah, so what it is going to do is it will I will start from 0 and I'll go till v dot size minus 1. So here our size is 8. So I is starting from 0, then it will go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And when it becomes 8, it will get false because 8 is not less than 8 and 8 is the size of the vector. You can count the number of element over here, right? So what we'll do now, we will just call this function and let's see what all gets printed. So we'll pass v to it. Yeah, so we got this 8 element, right? So right now we have seen two functions. One is pushback, another one is size. Let's see the third one. Let's pop back a element. So pop back will not take anything, but it will remove element from the last. Okay, so if I have to remove the element from the last, I'll just do pop back. So I have done one pop back, so it is going to remove the last element here, right? So let's again print it and see. Yeah, so pop back is working, right? Now there is one more function which can sort this vector. So for sorting, what we are going to write is yeah, before sorting, I would like to cover one more thing that is a little bit important. Yeah, so instead of printing the array in this manner, we can use actually iterator to print the vector. So here we'll use auto. Auto is nothing but it automatically takes the type. Instead of writing int I or char I, if you assign a character, it will automatically become char. If you assign an integer, it will become integer. So v dot begin, begin, I not equal to v dot end, I plus plus. C out star I, because it's an iterator, we'll have to dereference. Yeah, so I am using currently an old version of compiler. This code will not run over here. So what I'm going to do is open a ID1 link, paste the code over here, and I've commented out the previous for loop. Now I'm going to run here. Yeah, so you see, I've got this. So yeah, one important thing to discuss over here is what is begin and end, right? So you'll have all will have this question. So B is nothing but it's an iterator which is pointing to the first element. Okay. And what is end then? Yeah, many people get confused with the end. So end is not pointing to the last element of the vector, but end is pointing to the next of the last element in the vector. Okay, so it will be pointing to the last position, but not the last element, next to the last element. So when you start printing, you'll print something at begin, that is 0, then you'll print 1, then you'll print 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6 till it is fine. Next, when this it, iterator gets incremented, it will be pointing to the end, and when end and end matches, basically you will come out of this loop, because when I will be equal to end, you'll come out and you'll not print anything, right? So now we are going to use sort. So in sort, we are basically going to pass two parameters, the starting position and ending position. Between that, all the elements will be sorted. So we just have to write v dot begin, v dot end, and now we'll run it. Okay, sorry. Yeah, now you see it is in sorted order, right? So, and so far we have discussed begin, end, size, push back, pop back, right? Now one more thing here is you can clear all the element of the vector. So anytime you want to clear all the element of the vector, you just have to write p dot clear. And now if we run it, nothing is going to get printed. Okay. Yeah. Also, you can check if the array is empty or not by just using this function, which is empty. So this will return you true if the vector is empty. Empty vector. So now if we run it, we'll get an empty vector because we have already cleared all the value in this vector, right? One more thing over here is we can declare vector of vector as well. So let me tell you the syntax for it. Vector of int 2D. Let's say 2D. So vector of vector. So now what I can do is it's a vector of vector. It's kind of two-dimensional array. So basically if we take this and add it over here, add it over here, add it over here, add it over here. Yeah. Now if you look at this, it's a kind of matrix, like it has 4 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns in each row, right? So you can declare similar type over here. So now we have declared a vector of vector, how to use it, right? So we already have a vector, we can push this vector inside the other one. So how we'll do that? Let's see. So we'll write 2d dot pushback v. So what happens if I write this one time in the empty vector? One time this will get pushed. Let me do it for 4 times. Okay, so this array which we had initially, we are pushing this into vector of vector 4 times. So after pushing it, yeah. Now the thing is, how do we print that? That's the important one. So okay, let me take the code from here and bring it back over here. Also, for now, we'll not use this begin and end. So just let's get rid of all the so instead of 2D, let's write 2D. Now it will have 8 elements, and here we'll pass 2D. Yeah, so this function is basically to print one single vector. Now we'll see how to print vector of vector. Vector interface. Yes. So here we'll get the size, that is nothing but number of rows. So we are saying over here, if we look at this, basically what we are saying is how many rows it has. So here there are 4 rows that we are going to get in v dot size. Now in each row we have to print the elements, right? So what we are going to do is, here I'll say v of I dot size. So at first time when I is 0, we'll be at first row. So I am saying first row, what is the size? Okay. Also we cannot use I over here. So just let me take J, right? And here we can print one complete row. So we can say in the ith row, we are printing jth element. After printing one row, we can give the line break. That's all. So let's now run it. Yeah, you see, it printed two-dimensional array, right? So hope the basic functions are clear. So once I'll revise all the functions of vector which we discussed. So there is pop back, then push back. Push back, you need to give an element which will get inserted at last. Pop back will just remove an element from the last. Then begin will be pointing to the first element and will be pointing to the next element of the last element. Then we discuss sort function, how we can use sort to sort an array. Then size, it will give you the size. Anything else? Pop, push, begin and sort, size, clear. Yeah. One more thing I forgot to discuss you. If you already know the size, like let's say you know that you are going to have 10 elements, then you can directly declare it over here. And also initialize it with some elements. So you can write v of 10, comma 0. And if you write this way, there is already 10 elements allocated. So now you don't have to push back. You can just write v of 0 is equal to 1, v of 1 is equal to 2, v of 2 is equal to 3 similarly. Okay, so now I have given 10, so I'll have 10 elements in this v. Now let's say print and see. You see each vector has 10 elements. Also there is another thing, like for two-dimensional array also, if you are using vector of vector, you know the size, even you can give it here. So let's say I want 4. I'll just remove it for now from here, but just let it be. So let's say I want 5 rows and vector int vc 5 rows, 12 columns, initialize all with 0. So you can declare this way as well. So now though you have declared, you don't have to push back. You can say v of 2d of 0 is equal to v, and similarly one over here 2, 3. Yeah, so if you have written 5, you can use up to 4, right? You see, uh, this got resized because we are assigning z, but the last one we did not insert it, so it has 12 element as we mentioned over here. Now, if we don't add anything to this, all will be 0, right? Now, let's say if you want to initialize it with 2, all will be 2. And if it is one-dimensional array, you can initialize it here. Let's say I want to initialize it with 4. So, right, it got initialized with all 4. Hope this is clear for everyone. Thank you.